Hello, hello, hello. This is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, where I help you live the dream through travel. And I help curious travelers. I help um, active adults, women entrepreneurs, and empty nesters get the most out of their vacations. I help them by exploring more and connecting with the local culture wherever they visit. Insula Travel is a boutique travel agency, and I offer premium travel planning and advisory services. So, today's topic is what are you waiting for? 5 reasons to stop waiting and enjoy your life now. So that's a doozy, isn't it? Especially in this day and age. So if you are live, let me know if you're live. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And if this is going to be on a replay for you, let me know if you've got any questions or comments. Just make sure that you ask them. And this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. Please put a question, excuse me, a Q before your question, because I'm going to wait till the end of the presentation to answer the questions so that I could go through everything because people will be jumping on and jumping off. And for the replay audience, it'll make it easier for them as well. So here we are again, going to be talking about what are you waiting for? 5 reasons to stop waiting and enjoy your life now. So let's get into it. Reason number one, life can be unexpected. Yes, it can be. Pretty unexpected. So, there's been a lot of uncertainty, especially in light of the last 3 years or so. Um, that thing that I don't wanna mention again, it created it sort of upended everybody's lives. It upended, industry, it upended, jobs. It just upended everything. So, life can be unpredictable. That's a perfect example. So, just remember now, because your life it's uncertain. I know a lot of times we think that yeah, we've got all the time in the world, but that might not be the case, or there could be something that could interrupt our everyday lives. We may not have as much time as we think we have. So that's just something that I have come to grips with during this past 3 years because generally we, work or learn a trade, go to college, then you go into the job market, you raise your family, you get married, you do all the things. And then one day you're like, I'm going to do all these things until I retire. But then something like the pandemic comes and it changes everything. So it changes um, our perspectives. Okay, so there can be some missed opportunities there if you don't take the bull by the horns now. So now you may want to take the bull by the horns. Now's the time to do that because of the unpredictability and the nature of our world and our lives being so unpredictable. Number two, you want to treat yourself. Okay, so you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor while you still have time and energy to do it. Okay, so while you still have time and energy to do it, while you still have time and energy to do it. So this is Priscilla with Priscilla Travel, helping you live the dream through travel. And I'm just checking to see who is on. Uh, there are welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, and welcome those of you who signed up for the webinar. You will be getting a copy of this video when I am done. So back to what I was talking to you about. Treat yourself. Enjoy the fruits of your labor because you've worked hard. I know I have. You've worked hard. So you deserve to treat yourself. Not to mention resources. So if you wait till you retire, your income is going to shrink. Okay, it's going to shrink because you're now leaving earning phase and you're going into maintenance phase. So unless you get another job, Most of us don't want to unless we want to pursue some type of hobby or something or start another business. But the big hump or the big struggle, the uphill struggle is over. You start to go down the hill where you want to be able to relax, right? And collect on our pensions and our Social Security for those of us who are in the US, any money we've put aside so that we can do that. But many times, especially after the past 3 years, there's some uncertainty there. So you may want to see what it's like before you actually retire while you still have a little bit more resources. And I'm talking to you empty nesters out there. So right now, if you're an empty nester and you're still working, you still have a little bit, you have more resources now than you will when you retire. Okay, number three, I just started talking about it, resources, right? So the economy is a little weird right now after the pandemic. It really did a number on the economy globally, not just here in the US. So prices are pretty high. We had some supply chain issues. We've had issues with the airlines having to spin up trying to get back out there and get their people back out there. It's still going to be an upward battle. And right now, if you've got the time, inclination, and the resources to do it, before you retire, you may want to explore and take that bucket list trip that you might have been saving for before you retire. Because, like I said, you know what I talked about before in point number one, it's pretty uncertain. Life is pretty uncertain. So while you're working and you have the opportunity, go ahead. You may want to do that. You may want to take advantage of taking a trip now versus waiting until you retire. And yeah, of course, you may want to do that. Most people want to do it when they're retired, travel while they're in retirement, but many people don't think all of that through. So, if you're still working, a good idea would be to work with a financial planner to help you plan out what you're going to do when you retire, the resources that you have, how long it's going to last you. Maybe you need to pay down debt now uh, before you actually retire from your job and put that money away and plan to have money or the money that you do have saved for those trips. So that's just something that you may want to consider. I myself have a financial planner because I'm planning to retire within the next year. So I'm working with a financial planner, and she's helping me to plan to travel. Although I travel now, while I still have the resources to do it, it's a good idea to do that right now instead of just waiting to do everything when you retire. And number four, work life balance. So if you're still working, right? If you're still working, uh, it might be a good idea. It's a good idea to de-stress. You would like to have a good work-life balance. While you have good health, while you're still in good health, you want to consider traveling while you're still in good health. If you're working, more than likely you're still in good health. You have your health insurance. And if you're an empty nester, you have that time. You've got you don't have to worry about daycare for kids and things like that. You and your spouse can go on a trip together. You could travel together before you actually retire, while you actually have some of those resources because a lot of times we just work, 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 and we don't really take a break. And many of us have started working from home, and that's a new phenomenon for people because of the pandemic. It was hard for the kids, the school age kids, trying to get used to not being social and getting used to going to school and learning their lessons, and it can be stressful. And if for you who are working, it could be stressful as well because there's no on off switch. You just get up, you start working, you start your day, and then before you know it, the day is gone and you're still at the computer, or you're still in your sweatpants, or maybe even your jammies. I can say I've done that. You also want to consider your well-being, right? So before you retire, you still want to take care of yourself so that when you actually do retire, you're in good enough health to do that. Um, you can take a break now and sort of like find that peace of mind. Take that long awaited adventure. You'll have time if you start working with a financial planner and you start planning things in advance, you have time to make some more trips. It's just that, now while you're in that sweet spot, excuse me, between retirement and working, you're still working, your family is out of the way. You don't have to worry about raising your children because they're all grown and you're an empty nester. You're in that sweet spot now. So you want to create memories, right? While you can do it, while you could take that bucket list trip before you even retire because you've got the resources and the income and you're creating memories. You take that experience. And number five, get comfortable exploring. Get comfortable exploring. You don't need to be retired to do it. You can rediscover the real you and do some soul searching before you actually retire. Okay, so if I had a conversation and there was an article in AARP about retirees, they said, we're just going to retire and we're just going to travel. And they didn't think it all the way through. People are like, okay, I want to buy an RV and that's what I want to do in my retirement. But then when they retire, they're not able to do all of that cross country traveling like they did, they thought about in their mind, and not to mention the expense. And an alternative could have been just rent one while you're still working, get it out of your system to see if that's actually what you actually want to do when you do retire. So, if indeed it is something that you just like traveling cross country and you have planned to do it a lot, um, you'll know that. And you'll also know if maybe I just wanted to do it one time and get it out of my system. It's really not for me like I thought it was. Maybe I've got some mobility issues or some health issues, or, I really want to go some other places. Um, that's a good idea to do some soul searching before you retire. And we're talking about traveling right now. You also may want to continue solo travel. So, a lot of times, you may or may not have someone to travel with. So, solo travel is an option. It can be an option. I myself have traveled solo. I travel solo to France and to Africa. So, there's a way to do it and do it safely. So, another way of doing it is joining a travel group. So, there are travel groups out there with like minded individuals that you can travel with. And there are various modes of transportation or modes of travel that actually promote solo traveling, making it safer, making you feel more confident about it. Like cruising, ocean cruising is one, and then there's river cruising. So it's river cruising is really conducive to the solo travelers. They're not really big. You actually get to explore, you actually get to meet your fellow travelers on the ship. So that's all. That's the five things that I wanted to talk about today. And so, what are you waiting for? Number one, life is unpredictable. You may not have as much time as you think you have. The pandemic has shown us that life can change in an instant. So, you may want to challenge your belief system and consider living your best life now. Do something now before you actually retire. Number two, treat yourself. You want to try to enjoy the fruits of your labor while you can, while you're still in good health, while you're still able to get around. Um, and don't wait till you retire because you may overspend. You don't want to get into that mode where you're going to overspend because you thought in your mind you were going to do something like traveling cross country and buy an RV and travel cross country all of the time, and you didn't consider those expenses because in retirement your income is going to shrink and it's going to be fixed regardless of how much you have because things just go up and up all the time. Number three, economics. You want to consider um, how things can impact the economy, can impact your travels in the future, like it did, right? So now we're in this place where if it's possible for you, you can consider taking that bucket list trip and planning it, because prices have been fluctuating a little bit, but that's why you work with a travel advisor like moi to help you plan your trip, plan your budget, and then you can still have that trip of your dreams, plan it out, have everything all of your payments broken up, spread out, and then you can travel comfortably. So that's economics. Number four is that work life balance. As a result of the pandemic, people started working more from home. They are cooped up together with their families. They're with their loved ones. You know what I mean? And they're just nowhere to go. So, and not to mention, you don't have the on off switch. You have an on switch, but that's your off switch because you're working. And number five, get used to exploring. You don't need to be retired to explore the world. So whether it's a weekend getaway or it's one of your long-awaited GOAT trips, that's your greatest of all trips. You want to enjoy life to the fullest. Okay, so remember, what are you waiting for? Just stop waiting and start living. So I mentioned before, if you don't have anyone to travel with, join a travel group. And I do have one called the Sisterhood and Solo Travel Group for High Performing Women age 50 plus. So the qualifier is you have to be age 50 plus because many times um, we women, when we become professionals and we work, it's just we've worked all of the time and we get to a point where we want to explore and everyone, the people we would like to travel with, can't travel with us when we want to travel, but we still want to because, like I said, life is unpredictable. So join a travel group. So the link is in the post. The Sisterhood and Solo Travel Group for High Performing Women age 50 plus. Now, get your courtesy dream getaway consultation. So if indeed you would like to start planning a getaway, get on my calendar. The link to that is also in the post. This is a service where you get a 15-minute consultation to discuss your travel goals to see if it would be a good fit for the both of us to work together. And yes, it has to be a symbiotic relationship where it benefits the both of us in order to work together. Because what I do is I plan custom trips for travelers who like to follow their own rhythm. So I'm talking about your GOAT trips, like your greatest of all trips, or your bucket list trips. You just want to explore, or maybe you need help putting a multi-generational trip together. So that's another type of travel that's really hot right now, multi-generational, where it's children, grandchildren, and grandparents. So that's multi-generations, three generations at a time. So that is another hot way of travel because people have missed out on spending time together over the past 3 years. So now's a good time to make up for that. And remember, Scylla Travel, www.scyllatravel.com. It's in the ticker. If you're interested in booking a courtesy dream getaway consultation, go ahead and do it. Uh, go to www.scyllatravel.com or there's a link in the post. You can fill out your questionnaire and schedule an appointment with me. Now, um, what I want to mention is the Good Life and Some Soul and Epicurean Experience is open for booking. That's on Juneteenth of 2024. And you can book that cruise right now. You can get by making your deposit, you can secure your space because this is a river cruise. It's a luxury experience. There are 78 cabins. This is for next year, but you'll have plenty of opportunity to make payments. We also have a payment plan and a travel financing plan, which will give you up to 24 months to pay for the entire trip. So this is a French river cruise, and it is 3 nights in Paris. It's a 7-day river cruise with special emphasis on Black culture in France, as well as contributions of African Americans going to France and impacting the culture and society, France's culture and society. There's also an optional 3 nights in Barcelona. So that's up to you. You can add that on if you so desire. The trip features are a 3-night, like I said, 3 nights in Paris, 7 nights all-inclusive luxury river cruise. All the tours and excursions are included. Wine and spirits are included. There's a daily sip and sail cocktail hour where the cruise manager goes over the activities for the day or the next day. Uh, and then we've got Black Paris History and Culture Tours in Paris, and also in Marseille, the end of the tour, the Black History and Culture Tours in Marseille. And all along, there will be some jazz performances, as well as other spectacular tours and excursions along the way. There's also gourmet dining, and you have an opportunity to dine at the Chef's Table restaurant where this 7-course meal. Um, the chef will cook right in front of you, and every person on this river cruise has an opportunity to dine during that time. You just block off the time, put in your reservation for that time because everyone can't do it all at once, and it's an intimate setting. There's no additional charge for this. I know on some of the other cruise lines, like the larger cruises, they charge extra for that. It's all of this is included in the cost of the trip. You get your 2 day, 3 nights in Paris. All of your river cruise, you get all of your excursions, all of the gourmet dining, all of the spirits and wines and drinks and food, tours. There'll be some wine tastings on some of the excursions. All of that's included, as well as jazz performances, all included. Also, there are active tour options such as biking and hiking for you folks who are into your well being and you want to stay in shape. There's also the France's high speed train from Paris to Lyon, where we will, after the 3 nights in Paris, we travel to Lyon to travel on the high speed rail from Paris to Lyon, excuse me, and then embark on the river cruise. There are also complimentary airport transfers with the purchase of air. So you have to purchase the air in order to get the complimentary transfers. And that's just the airport transfers. I'm not talking about the transfers during the tour. All of those are included. Now, the best thing about it is you get to unpack once and visit many towns and cities. That is why I love river cruising. And I'm just going to go over the itinerary just a bit. Starts in Paris. It starts in the Renaissance Paris Arc de Triomphe Hotel. It's a Marriott property, centrally located with shopping and public transportation. Um, totally available. Let's see. The rooms are quite spacious. Breakfast is included at the hotel. Lunch and dinner are not at the hotel, but on the ship, every all the meals are included. This is just a picture of the dining room. I ate there because I actually stayed there and I sailed on a France itinerary in 2021. And this is just a brief overview of the tours in Paris. There will be 2 tours. There'll be that are highlighted: the Josephine Baker tour and the Black History tours in Paris. And for those of you who don't know who Josephine Baker was, she was a famous actress, dancer, singer. She was also a civil rights activist, and she was a spy for the French resistance and honored by the French in 2021 for being a hero during World War II. And that's just the high speed rail travel during the tour from Paris to Lyon. It goes 200 miles an hour. This is the Coast of Provence itinerary, which is, um, and this particular river cruise is a special emphasis river cruise, like I said, but it's still the Coast of Provence itinerary, and it'll be on the Ama Christina. As you can see, the ship. It's not like an ocean liner. There are no interior cabins on a river cruise ship. Everyone has a window or a balcony. And this is just one of the rooms. This is one of the rooms that has a double balcony. And a double balcony is the French balcony where the windows just open inward and the regular step out balcony. That's a double balcony. There are some with just the French balcony, and there are also some with just the windows. Here's just the dining room. All the meals will take place breakfast, lunch, and dinner in between your tours as well. They bring you back to the ship for lunch, and then you go out on your second tour because there are two tours per day. You get to choose. You don't have to go on all of them, but you eat breakfast, you go on your tour, come back, they bring you back to the ship, you eat lunch, and then you go out on your afternoon tour. And you still have an opportunity to shop because I did that. I ditched a couple of the tours. So there's a pool on this ship, and it's on the top deck of the Ama Christina. There's also a fitness center. And this is a map of France where we will be sailing from Lyon, where the purple diamond is, down to where the burgundy diamond is, and ending in our cruise, our river cruise in Arles, and then going to Marseille for the Black culture and Black history tours, where that will end our cruise. There will also be jazz and wine experiences during this cruise. Throughout this cruise, it's built in. You can also explore, so it's not just Marseille and Paris. All along the way, we'll be stopping and exploring the history, the heritage, the beautiful scenery in France. Provence is a beautiful place. It's like a county in France. That's how I'm equating it to us in the US. And there are many cities you're sailing the Rhone to the Mediterranean from Lyon. And as we sail, the weather gets warmer. And when we end our tour, the last tour will be in Marseille, the Black Heritage Tours. And then you either disembark or, and you see Arles has some spectacular um, Roman architecture. I have to say that I was quite surprised that France period has some spectacular ancient Roman architecture throughout the country. And then we have the optional 3 nights in Barcelona, the add-on. You have an opportunity to travel by train to Barcelona for 3 nights. And the cruise manager is with us from the time we're in Paris on the cruise, as well as the optional Barcelona add-on. And then you fly home. So the booking dates are Monday. This is when the trip, these are the actual trip dates here. Booking is open. It's Monday, June 17th, 2024 through Thursday, June 27th, 2024. And that's not including the add-on. You would add on 3 nights if you decide to do that. Flights are available for purchase as well as travel protection. So I can't stress the importance of having travel protection. We also have something called Uplift. Book now, pay over time. You have an opportunity to pay over 24 months for your cruise. So the trip is a little under a year from now. Well, it's over a year from now, but the final payment is due March, the beginning of March of 2024, giving you, if you were to make your deposit today, giving you 11 months to make payments. However, if you wanted to spread that out over 24 months, you could using Uplift. So you can reach out to me. The link to that Uplift is in the post as well. Join me next Sunday at 7 p.m. for my next topic. And if you're on my email list or you're following me on Facebook, you will get that. So I'm checking to see if there are any comments or any questions, and I don't see any right now, but that's okay. Thank you for those of you who decided to attend live. I did see a few of you. Maybe you just don't have questions right now, but leave your questions in the comments and I will get to it. So, this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, hoping that you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever or wherever you are in the world. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for following Scylla Travel and letting me help you live the dream through travel. So remember, if you would like to book a trip, get a courtesy consultation. The link is in the post. Remember, if you want to join the Facebook group for women travelers, the link is in the Facebook group. And if you're interested in attending the river cruise for 2024 Juneteenth, the Good Life and Some Soul, the link is in the post. There are also videos which will help walk you through the itinerary and how to make your deposit. So this is Priscilla Travel signing off, hoping that you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening. And remember, one more thing, as always, remember, live the dream.